Dee 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 dee. Keto living is the life for me. Coffee, cooking, and recipes. Spending my days with my doggies. So be a sport. Set your alarm for Wednesdays for the Warden's Report. Happy Wednesday and another week of the Warden's Report. So if you are new here, I update every week how I get my high fat in. So I am doing high fat keto. To me, high fat's 90%. I know a lot of people would say 80% or better, and that is true. So get what you can. And here's a topic I'm going to be discussing throughout the coming week. What would you do? BBBE or high fat? Or is there even a difference? So we'll discuss that. If you're new here, go ahead, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button so you get all the wonderful updates every time I put out a good video like this, or my husband's MS journey. So he has multiple sclerosis and how he's treating that. And then also we do recipe videos. And then every Friday night at 6:30 Central, we do go live, and we actually do a live cooking show. So we will cook up something every week and just show you, live. So sometimes it's a success, sometimes it's not. And sometimes you never know what shenanigans we will get into. So make sure you tune in. So hope to see you there. So today is Wednesday night. I have not eaten all day, so I'm having dinner. I'm finding lately I just feel too busy, and so I typically just have my coffee with the coconut oil, and that's basically it, and that gets me through the day. I've just basically, when people ask, oh my gosh, what do you do? How do you go so long without eating, right? It's, for me, I find keeping myself busy. So that might mean like during lunch, instead of like going to a place that I would have lunch, instead what I do is find things to work on. Or usually I just talk to Heath and watch him eat, which I know for some people that can be a little stressor. Other times I just, stay busy, like decorating, cleaning helps, things like that in between work. And then also at work, I make sure that I basically don't keep any snacks in my office. And then that way I'm not going to be tempted. And I'm just the type, once I start working, if I want something, I have to actually stop working and go to like the kitchen. So I find that that's what helps me kind of find out if you're struggling with like snacking and stuff. What are your triggers? Why are you snacking? What are you doing to cause that to happen, basically? Is it that you're actually hungry? And if you are hungry and you're snacking, that means you just need to eat a bigger meal. Or are you snacking because you're bored? If you're bored, why are you bored? Like, what can you do instead of eating to fulfill that boredom, something like that. Anyways, what can you do to kind of negate that instead of grabbing food when you're bored? Well, what about going on a walk? What about, go to a park? Or is there a project? Or, I hate to say this, something need to be cleaned? I know, who wants to clean when you're bored? But it's something to be done. The other option is, are you snacking for an emotional reason? If it's an emotional reason, I would suggest figuring out what is that emotional reason. Like, what is triggering that emotion that makes you want to grab a food? And then what's another way that you can replace that? So when you have whatever that emotion is, instead of grabbing food, what can you do instead? And it's kind of like the same thing with bored. You know, go on a walk, go to the park, go spend time with your animals. I mean, that helps me if I'm having an emotional response. A lot of times just going and petting my dogs, talking to them, that helps release whatever emotional moment I'm going through. Okay, and I'm going to show you my dinner tonight, and then we'll talk about BBBE versus high fat. And what should you do? What should you do? It's carnivore month for the month of January. I mean, it's also my birthday. I feel like that's a little more important, but I know everybody's like all crazy about carnivore. So I'll let it slide. Have a steak in my name. All right, let's show you what I'm eating. So for dinner, what I'm doing tonight, it's starting to melt. It's 6 tablespoons of mayo. I mean, it's not technically melting. It's just the oils. It's getting warm from my pork belly, so it's just kind of getting room temperature. Just like butter gets soft, mayo can do that too. And that's my homemade mayo, y'all. And so we do have a video. If you're like, how do you make your own mayo? We have a video. You go see that. And then this is 5 ounces of pork belly. Now you're like, oh my gosh, that looks burned. What it is, I made a special sauce for it. Like I drenched it, which I haven't told Heath about it. Basically, it's kind of an Asian take. So it does have, the reason it burned is I did add a little bit of maple stevia. So it's not actually burned, it's just the sugars have, caramelized. But I also put in, let me think here, a little bit of sesame oil, coconut aminos. That's basically the base is coconut aminos. Then rice vinegar, but apple cider vinegar would work as well. And then, sriracha and chili sauce. And then I put some white pepper, some chili flakes, some umami seasoning I got from Trader Joe's, salt, and a little bit of cinnamon. So it could also be the cinnamon in that. But that's that. I think it tastes pretty good. What do you think?
Awesome.
Could you tell that I had seasoned it?
No. I just swallow it.
Oh, gosh. And then I've got 2 jalapenos with goat cheese. And then a couple mushrooms with a little bit of cheese as well. And that'll be my dinner. And then I'm drinking 1877. And that's it, y'all. Thursday lunch. Today I've got 4 sausage patties, a little bit of my sweet and spicy pickles with the jalapeno I put in with it, some Bavarian mustard, and 2 tablespoons of mayo. And then also when I cook this, I mean, you can't really see now if I zoom in there, but I did take any of the juices, the fat, right? I did pour that over, so I didn't want to lose out on any of the fat, y'all. So that's my lunch today, and I'm eating with this handsome fella. Thursday night dinner. Already Thursday. I am like, can't believe how fast this year's already running. So what I got here is just an air fried jalapeno, 2 mushrooms stuffed with cheese, 3 tablespoons of mayo, and what I did tonight with the pork belly, kind of see that on there, I made a garlic parmesan sauce. So it's even got more, because I did a total of 4 tablespoons, but that was for both Heath and I. So approximately 2 tablespoons of butter plus the Parmesan cheese, and then I did some seasoning, of course, garlic powder and salt. I would say, I mean, the flavor's good, but if we had the minced garlic or even fresh garlic, then it would be nice because you would see the little garlic chunks. But that's my meal. That's my drink. And you can probably hear the dogs. They each got a bone. So they're happily chewing away. Look, he's on the couch with it, y'all. I didn't want him to get on the couch, but that's where he decided to go. We put it in his food bowl in the kitchen, but he was like, oh no, I need to be comfortable when I'm eating. And then Delilah's in there. I don't think you could see because it's so dark, and she's so dark, but she's got her little bone. I think you kind of see a little bit. See, she's got her bone too, so she was not left out. And there's Heath eating his steak. My beautiful flowers.
Did you tell them they're wooden flowers?
Yeah. They couldn't believe it because they said it looks like real, actual flowers. What I like is you could scent to them with any, like, essential oil. So I could change it up. So I'm going to do every day where I talk about BB&E versus high fat. Is there a difference? I mean, technically, yes, there's a difference. But can you do both? Oh, yeah, definitely. Because, again, BB&E, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. So you can actually, you could do a bacon mayo. Or, I'm trying to think what other... The ghee mayo, when I tried that, it ended up being too hard. But you could do like a bacon grease mayo. That would be another way of doing it. And of course, all the butter. And then if you're eating fatty meats, fatty beef specifically, which is what Dr. Berry recommends. If you're doing BB&E, you need those fatty cuts. And then add plenty of butter to it. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, when I was carnivore, sorry about that. When I was carnivore... I know my biggest issue is, yeah, I was eating fatty beef and stuff, and I would add maybe a tablespoon of butter. That's not enough fat. Like, actually plug it in, do the macros. So even if you're doing BB&E, I know he says, don't do macros, but my personal opinion, I would double check where you are, especially if you're maybe feeling sluggish or if you're having bowel issues. That was what happened with me. Anything like that, plug in those numbers and just do a spot check, not to limit yourself, but to see where is your fat percentage, because you want to definitely be getting at least 65% fat. Like, that's the bare minimum for your body to just function, is 65% fat. So if you're only getting 60 or less, oh, you're going to have problems. So at least make sure you're getting 65% fat. And again, it really is high fat. And if you speak to any long-term carnivores, now this wasn't clear when I first went carnivore, but now they come out and say, yeah, you're supposed to be doing 80% fat on carnivore. So even carnivore people are telling you it needs to be high fat. And I know I get some people who are like, oh, I can't do that high of fat. It does take adjusting, y'all. It does take time to adjust that. But you can find ways. Again, it's a whole mindset. So instead of being like, oh, I got to eat meat. So a lot of people will say, oh, well, if you're BB&E, and that's protein first. You can still do BB&E with the mindset of fat first. So putting that butter in your coffee experience, adding butter to your eggs, lots of it. Like I would do 2 tablespoons per egg, and then try making the bacon mayo. And again, with like, if you make bacon or really any of that bacon or beef, any of those drippings in the pan, don't get rid of those. Use that. If anything, like Heath loves to make dirty eggs. So like he would fry up the sausage. Well, I know BB&E don't have sausage, but he would fry up the bacon, and then in the bacon grease, he would scramble his eggs, and therefore you're incorporating some of that fat that was lost from the bacon back into your food, and then I would still add more. So again, if you're used to, oh, well, I'm supposed to eat like 6 eggs and 5 pieces of bacon every day. Well, if you're trying to do high fat, remember, your goal is not to get protein. Your goal is to get fat. So that's the main thing, not to get fat, to get your fat macros, right? To get the, what would you say? What's another way? Because Heath was laughing at me. Yeah, to meet your fat macro, that's the most important thing, and not the protein. Like, oh my gosh, I gotta get 1 gram of protein for every body weight or whatever it is. Like, if you're close to maintenance weight, like if you have less than 50 pounds to lose, that would probably work out well for you. But I'm going to tell you, and even my coach reiterated this week, if you have a lot more than 50 pounds to lose, more unlikely high fat keto is what's going to help you get there. That's what's going to get you healthy, and that's what's going to help with the weight loss. So just kind of keep that in mind, but I'll touch base with you again tomorrow. Happy Friday, y'all. I'm in the office. I'm working today. And, oh, somebody decided to join me. Hi, Delilah. Oh, now they're both here. Oh, they heard me move and talk, and they're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? What are we doing? Are we G-O-I-N-G? No, we're not. Go lay down. I thought I'd pop on here, have a little more discussions. So we're talking about BBBE and fat, high fat keto, right? Can you do it? So I kind of went over that yesterday. And today, something's been nagging at my mind, right? See, my burn's healing, y'all. Doing pretty good there. I won't show you my tummy, so nobody wants to look at that. But anyhow, I think a lot of times when people do BBBE, they're really focused on protein, right? Because, I mean, that's what you hear. Beef, bacon, eggs. You hear a lot of protein, like, oh my gosh, I gotta get all this protein in. And I'm going to tell y'all, it is easy to overeat on just protein. Now, protein is not going to give your body energy, and basically, yeah, you can eat a lot of protein. And I think if you are an athlete, like think of somebody like Sean Baker or even Paul Saladino, all of them, they're athletes. Look at them, they work out. So yeah, they're going to need a lot more protein, fat, and everything else, because they are athletes. They are working out. So they're continuing to build muscle. And what I hear in the sphere is that a lot of people are like, oh, well, you got to make sure you get enough protein. You got to have X amount per your body weight. You need at least 100 grams a day. But if you look back, go back to those same people. What did they do when they first started keto? They weren't getting 100 grams of protein. I can promise you that. They were not having the high protein and high fat, right? Because what I mentioned last week, you have to have a balance. So when I hear people who are like, well, you got to have this protein, and then if you're getting 80 to 90% fat, look at how much more you're eating. No, that is not how I've been doing it. And that's actually not recommended when you're doing high fat. So you have to adjust your protein and carbs. So for example, I do 90% fat. So that only leaves 10% for protein and carbs. I am basically eating, I would say close to 0 carb, but most of the time I get under 5 total carbs in a day. Because you pick what you want. What is more important? To me, number one, I'm going to make sure I get that fat in. Number two, I'm then going to fill in with protein to help satiate me as well. And then the last thing is if I want a carb. So for example, having a jalapeno or a couple of mushrooms. That's generally where I get my carbs. Or I know there is a small amount of carbs in cheese and in eggs. I never worry about those. Even the carbs in coffee. I had a great discussion with my coach, and she was like, don't count your carbs in coffee. Like, come on. That isn't what has caused any type of weight gain, any type of health issues. It is not the carbs in the coffee, y'all. Let's not get lost in the weeds. Let's focus on the overall scope. So, and I was also talking to my coach because it's a little bit of a fear-mongering of, if you're not getting enough protein, oh my gosh, you're going to lose your muscles. They're all going to go away. You're just going to be flopping around on the floor because you ain't got muscles. Well, no. Where's the information to even back that up? Again, if you're a high athlete, or if you're someone who is working out consistently every day, you're doing your strength training. I'm not talking cardio. I'm saying strength training. You're lifting weights on a daily basis. Yeah, you're going to need a little more protein. So maybe you're doing 80% fat and 20% protein, right? Because you got to have that. But most of us, and especially me, I'll tell y'all, I am not anywhere near an athlete. And honestly, I don't ever see myself getting to that point. That's just not the desire in me, right? You got to speak your truth. That ain't my truth. I mean, I would like to do things like being able to go on a walk, which I can do that. You know, being able to do basic things that you don't need to be an athlete to do, right? Maybe you're not going to look like some Olympic person when you do it, but you did it. That's what matters. So for most of us, I would say you don't need to worry about protein. And I hear so many people who are like, but everybody's telling me I got to get this high protein in. How do I eat 100 grams of protein, 160, 70, 80 grams of fat? I mean, that is so much food. It's like, yeah, no, you don't. You don't need that. And, you know, even when I look back, when I first started keto back in 2019, I wasn't eating 100 grams of protein. And I had great success back then because I was focusing, again, high fat, moderate protein. And it's still the same. And when I talked to my coach, she said, yeah, there's no basis for that. There's too many people who are getting pro-protein. And she goes, guess what? Just like with the Atkins diet and everything else, and with Banting, things go in waves. People are like, oh, this is the new thing. That's what we're going to preach to everybody. And that's what we're going to focus on. But I bet you, because I've seen this, at least in my time here, in about 6 months to a year, everybody's going to be back to, oh, you got to have your fat. You got to have your fat. Yeah, you don't have to worry so much about protein, but make sure you're getting enough fat. Because I really think what people have done when they're low protein is they're also low fat. Like they're getting, oh, I'm getting 60 grams of protein, but I'm only getting 60% fat. Well, guess what? Yeah, you're going to have issues. You have to have the high fat. And y'all see me. I mean, my hair, I think it's still doing great. Not having any issues there. I'm not having any issues with anything. In fact, I feel so much better with this. And I have noticed every single time that I have a higher protein day, the next day it shows on the scale. But of course, I know, again, what's popular right now, do your own keto. So figure it out for yourself on what works for you. But that's my thoughts. Don't feel like, or don't, I guess what I want to say is, don't feel scared that, oh my gosh, I'm not getting this enough protein. What's going to happen? Am I not doing this right? If you are really trying to do high fat, just focus on the fat, get that fat in, and then everything else will fall into place. It's just me. So I posted something. If you're new here, we have a Facebook group, and I'm loving it, y'all. I love interacting with you all day long. Like, I get excited when I see somebody comment on something. So I made a post today, Friday the 6th. You know, what is your long-term goal for this year, and what is something you want to release, get rid of, stop, whatever word you want to use, right? And I see so many people who are like, love myself, have confidence in myself, self-acceptance. And I was actually just listening to a podcast, and I loved how they framed it. They said, if you are happy with yourself, build happiness in how you are and how you look at the world, that you will find more happiness as you do that. So in other words, like the guy even gave this reference, and this is not even like a keto health podcast, it's a random philosophical podcast, right? And he said, like, a lot of times people will eat something they know is bad for them. And so then they feel bad about that. They feel first guilty that they want to eat something like that. Then they feel bad for eating something like that. Then they feel bad because, guess what? They gained weight, or they had a health issue with it. And so then they're like, okay, well, now I feel bad about this. Well, now I guess I gotta, go buy a pill, or maybe now I'm on medication, or now I gotta go to the gym. And then, but you're going to it with that mindset of, well, I have to go to the gym because I ate that, piece of POS, and I feel bad, and now I got to do this, or, well, now I'm on medication, or I had to go to the doctor, and it's just negative, 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 negative. It just keeps building, right? Instead, try to learn to find happiness in who you are. So when you have that, gosh, I really want, candy bar. Why do you want it? Is it going to provide you with happiness? Like, seriously, think about it. Is it going to make you happy? And you realize, no, I'll probably end up getting weight. Or, well, I might end up a diabetic. Well, is that going to contribute to your overall happiness and self-acceptance? No. Okay, well, you only want to do things that benefit you and make you happy. So what would make you happy instead? And think of it that way and say, you know what? I'm happy that I decided to put me first and not eat that candy bar, because I know that would not give me any sort of actual long-term happiness. And then you're more and more happy, because then, hey, I don't have to go to the gym because I feel bad. Maybe now I just want to go to the gym because I think it's going to make me feel better, right? Feel happier. But it's not because of something I did, it's something I want. And I want that happiness to build. And then what I really liked, the other guy said it, he's like, yeah, you notice with negative actions and negative thought, what comes with it? Money. Everything's money. Pills cost money. The gym cost money. All those things cost more money. So when you're negative and against yourself and feeling guilty, the cure is you have to spend money. But it's not even a cure. It's just a way to satiate that temporary feeling with money. Whereas if you find true happiness and acceptance of who you are, the world around you, and realizing, you know what, how I look at myself and how I feel on the inside is projected into the world. And so if I work, and it is work, I know it is, because I'm still on there. Sometimes I get very, angry and upset about things. It's like, okay, let's refocus. Okay, why am I feeling that way? Let's try to change that and accept who I am and work towards happiness, because we all got to save money. And I want to save money. And then if I can project more happiness and acceptance of myself, then I will project that out in the world. And guess what? More acceptance and happy things will come my way. So just a thought. Tell me what you think. Friday lunch, y'all. I've got my Purnell sausage. They're still my favorite. I've got 2 tablespoons of mayo. And then a couple of pickles and a pickled jalapeno piece. And tonight I will be having, since it's the Friday night feast, make sure you go and tune into that. But we will be making wings, so I'm going to have some wings and a lot of mayo. So I'm saving most of my fat for that to really amp up eating those wings. And I'm thinking we're going to do a garlic parm sauce. So we'll toss it so there'll be butter in that. And then plus I'm going to have mayo for dipping as well. So that's why it's a little bit lower on the fat right here. But, you know, it'll be plenty tonight. So I'll still end up well. And that's it for lunch. Happy Saturday! So excited, y'all. We have been filming this morning. So we're going to end up filming 3 videos total. We got 2 new recipe videos that'll be coming out. Actually, one, by the time you see this, one's already been released. You got to go watch that. I love this, and that's what I'm eating right now. It is lasagna in a bowl. So all the best things of lasagna without all the fuss of a lasagna. So it's lasagna in a bowl. This is freaking delicious. Now with mine, to really up the fat, I did add 4 tablespoons of butter plus a couple tablespoons of the Chef Chamois garlic butter. I just thought that would go really well here. The Chef Chamois is only 9 grams of fat per tablespoon, whereas, you know, most butter is 11 grams of fat, so it's a little bit lower in fat than regular butter.
We mainly buy it for the flavor.
Yeah, that's what it's for. But this dish is spectacular. So this is Saturday at lunch, and I'm going to tell y'all, my aim is 90%. That's why I really up my fat. Of course, I've got my coffee here with my 6 tablespoons of coconut oil for basically 3 cups of coffee. So about 2 tablespoons per cup of coffee. But tonight, we're going out for my birthday. Stay tuned. You will get to see that. And I know I'm not going to be tracking that, so it's probably not going to be 90% fat. But I'm definitely trying during the day to get as much as possible. So this is the dinner, y'all. I'm just so excited. I hope everybody tried this. Well, I guess it's lunch. It's just so good. I just love this. I love it. Y'all, outside, look, the yardman came today and cleaned the deck off for the most part. See a little bit. But Delilah's like, I got a roll on my back. Does anybody else dog do that? Sam does not. Well, he does inside, but I've never seen him do it in the yard. But look at her. Look, Delilah, you are dirty, Missy. You cannot go in the house with all of the debris on your back. Look at that. Clean you up. Oh, Sam's like, well, wait. What are you doing? You're touching Delilah. What about touch me? Touch me. Look at me. I'm so cute. There. Let's get your tail. There. You silly girl. Now you may go in. Saturday birthday surprise. So, an awesome friend sent me a Dutch Bros because she knows we're like Dutch Bro twins. We both love our Dutch Bros. So she sent me some Dutch Bro money for my birthday. Thank you. Oh, and look, I love I never noticed this before if this is new or not, but look, that is so true. See? Aww. So today I am trying the Dutch Bros sugar-free trifecta. So it's sugar-free chocolate, white chocolate, and caramel with heavy cream. Now, I'm going to be honest, y'all. These Dutch Bros, they are not carb-free. There's definitely carbs in this. It's the Torani sugar-free syrup, so you can look those up. I mean, it's not going to be the cleanest. It definitely isn't going to be, like, extremely low carb. There's still going to be carbs, but again, I do this at most once a week, typically about maybe twice a month. I'm, not drinking these all the time. That is is really good. Really rich. Like, wow, that is something, y'all. And then Heath has his double rainbow sugar-free as well. I don't know what they put there. Zol? 2? I don't know what that means. Sure it's something. And then the reason we went out, not just for my Dutch Bro, I mean, let's be honest, that's like the real reason. But Lisa told us that, and I'm going to try not to get anybody's driver's license here. Here we go. Dollar Tree, supposedly, at least hers, has the Bang whole lot of chocolata in there. So Heath is running in right now, and we'll see if he gets that. He was like, what should I get? Like 4 or 5? I'm like, if they're $1.25 each, because most Bangs run $2 to $2.50 at a store. I'm like, if they're $1.25, get them all, you know, get like 15 or so. So we're gonna see what he ends up getting. Hopefully they have them. See what flavor. He hasn't called me yet, so he's probably still looking. But yeah, that's what we're doing out today. And then we're gonna go back home, and then the meat cake should be about ready to be pulled. Exciting day. And look at the cloud, y'all. Look at that. It's a cloudy day, but it's a warm day. Look, let me see if I can show. Look. Okay, here it is. January the 7th. Look at that temperature. 80. Oh, because Heath has the key. 82 degrees. Oh, he says they only have 8. Well, get them all. All right, let me tell him, y'all. Y'all, I got a couple more birthday gifts. Thank you so much. My awesome coworker got me this. Oh, she knows me so well. That's so hilarious. And to go with it, look at this. It's from RSK, Emily, and James. Oh, I'm so excited. I love the maple bacon bones coffee. So, like, it's like the perfect thing to come together. I've got coffee and a mug. And look, it's even on both sides. I mean, good morning. Right. That's exactly what I meant. Thank y'all. It's really noisy in here, but I ordered my keto coffee. I'll probably get 2, to be honest. Here's a little keto, like, macaroon thing. And there's a spoon. Found out from their menu that most everything, like their paleo options, are dairy and gluten-free. And they have a lot more paleo options as well. So if you're with somebody who's like, oh, I'm not full keto, then, you know, the paleo will work. But here's the appetizers. Oh, wrong side. Here's all the keto menus. Let's see if I can do this. Now, we have gotten the Brussels sprouts before. Those are really good. And we've done the chicken wings before. And then here's the different entrees. Ooh, lamb stroganoff. That sounds good too. Wow. And then here's the desserts. And there's the coffee. All right. What does this say down here? Sorry, y'all. So a little blurb on their definition of keto. So I think I'm going to get the pizza. What?
Well, it shows with the beef tenderloin tacos because of the keto cream sauce. What is in that? Couldn't I just have that?
I don't know.
Because keto is cream.
I know. we tried to ask her because we were like, why is it paleo? Oh, here she goes. Okay, y'all, I just went with the simple pepperoni pizza. I kept going back and forth, and then I was really having a hard time tonight because I was like, oh, the carbonara sounds good. There's just so many good options. But I ended up with this. Oh, and they had a lamb stroganoff, and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing too. But I was like, nope, just stick with the pizza. That's what I got here. It is almond crust, so Pete can't have it. He's sad. And then this is Pete's. I'm not sure. It didn't mention potatoes, but I don't know what that is there. But you probably won't eat it. But see, that's all the sweet potato you get is that one little bit. But it's got asparagus, green beans, broccoli.
Mashed cauliflower.
Oh, it's mashed cauliflower?
I believe.
Okay. And then it's got that duck egg on top. And look, that whole thing is the pork chop. That looks good. Oh, this is that lemon cheesecake. Look at that. That's an almond crust with a whipped cream, a little strawberry mint. That's good. And then look, he's got the sundae. That looks good.
Came with a strawberry.
Oh yeah. You want nice strawberry?
Yes.
You can have the berries. All right, that's our meal tonight. Look, they kept me stocked up on water. Sunday night dinner. I slept really late in today. It felt amazing, y'all. And then since I've been up, I've just been real busy editing videos, getting them scheduled to be released and so forth. So here's dinner. And what I made was that beef stew in the Instant Pot. We've already got that recipe out, so go check it out. I've got actually 3 tablespoons of butter. You see a couple here on top, and there's one underneath. And so that's my dinner. This one does have a little more because I added some heavy cream to the overall pot. And we had leftover ricotta cheese, so I just added that as well and stirred it all in. So I think that's going to get us probably at least 3 nights worth of dinners. Hopefully 4 or 5. And then I'm going to finish up my coffee. And look at this cute mug that my coworker, hey sister, got me. And I'll block off the dirty word, but y'all can figure out what that word is. So she knows me so well. And then also, so that's the last of my coffee for the day, which is, it ends up being 3 cups of coffee with 6 tablespoons total of the coconut oil. So about 2 tablespoons per cup of coffee. And then I also have my water, and that's dinner. In a little bit, I will be having some tea. So I'm going to try the tea and let y'all know what I think. Hey, y'all. It is Sunday night. We're watching The Wonderful Radical Geek. So excited. And I thought I would try this one. So on the Friday night feast, I tried the Yuletide Toddy, which is very good. Now I was going to try the Christmas. And there you see what the ingredients are. I do love cardamom and cloves and ginger. So there's the package. This is by Adagio Teas, because that's how you say it. Here is my cup. So you see there's the tea bag. And it's one of those like fabric ones, like a really nice tea bag, y'all. And you see this kind of a deeper, I mean, it is a black tea. It's definitely a dark color, so let me try it. And while I'm sipping, I'll let you look at Delilah. Oh, if it focuses. Oh yeah, that has a really good spice to it. Definitely give it the cardamom and the cinnamon. That's very warming for a nice, it's starting to cool up again here. Can't say it's going to get cold. It's going to get cool. But yeah, that's really good. Thank you so much for that. I'm really enjoying all these teas. Well, I don't know why it keeps unfocusing there. All right. Happy Monday, y'all. I have been busy all day. Mondays are always real busy for me at work. But time for dinner. And what I have here is just our beef stew. I have a total of 3 tablespoons of butter. I always like to put the butter on the bottom. That way when I pour the soup in, just helps that melt. And I might be adding some of this hot sauce to it. Just to give it another little tang. And then I've got my water. Now it should be dinner. And then over here is Delilah. There's Delilah. Where's Sam? He's right there. I just took him outside. But yes, they'll be right here, usually right by my feet while I eat. Which I don't know why. I never feed them for my plates or bowls, but
there's that one day.
They're just like, maybe one day. Tuesday morning, y'all. And I just have been hungry this morning. Sorry, that was my hand. So it's about 10:15. I decided, well, you know what? I'm just going to have me some sausage and mayo. So I've got 3 of the Pernell sausage, 3 tablespoons of mayo, plus, kind of see the grease there. Any of the grease in the pan, I drizzled back over the sausage because I don't want to lose that fat. Fat's important. And then the red is the sugar-free chamoy. I'm going to have to figure out how to make that on my own because we're going through it way too fast and it's kind of expensive. And then I've got some hot sauce here. Been enjoying this one. Just has a good smoky note to it. And, of course, I still got my coffee. Oops, covered that word. No, not everybody wants it. And that's what I'm eating this morning. And then I know tonight we will be having the rest of that beef stew. So, final day, right? And I've kind of talked a couple times about BBBE. And so I hear, you know, some people I know are definitely doing the challenge. Great for you. It really comes down to what's the difference between BBBE and high fat. Really, technically, there isn't because they both should be high fat. So when I read other people who promote the BBBE, it's still saying 80% fat. So if you are doing the triple B and E and you're feeling kind of sluggish or slow or tired or your mind's a little fuzzy, try upping that fat. I promise you that's what's going to help. Because again, you need to be getting that fat in. It's very important. So that's the overall similarity. With triple B and E, it is a lot more restrictive. Again, if you're doing like the traditional BB and E, it's beef, butter, bacon only, no other pork, just bacon, and eggs, right? That's it. So it's a lot more restrictive, and for some people, they do it as a form of elimination to find out. Like if anybody follows, what you should be, Radical Geek, she found out she had a shrimp allergy. So I think it is great for that if you want to find out if you have any type of issues, right? If you have any other things that might be bothering you. But otherwise, if you're just trying to like, oh, I just want to change it up, or, oh, I'm not seeing the results I want, honestly, my opinion, don't do BB&E. Keto is sustainable. Do keto because it's long-term results. These little things like doing something for 30 or 60 days, it might change things up, but what's going to happen at the end of that? And sometimes what I've seen with others is when they're doing these drastic eliminations, at the end of it, when they stop, then they kind of go a little haywire. Like all of a sudden, then they're eating tons of chicken and tons of this other stuff. I really like how Maitreya did it, Radical Geek. She's very, very methodical on how she reintroduced food. It was really taking the time to do it. And so go watch hers, because she was I would say out of everyone I have seen doing triple B and E, she was the most methodical and conscientious on reintroducing foods and taking the time. That's the other thing. What I've seen most others do is within a week they're eating chicken, they're eating almond flour, they're eating the vegetables, and they're like, oh, well, I ate chicken yesterday, so it's good, and they continue on and eat, reintroduce foods every day. And it's like how Maitreya did it is she really said, okay, so I'm having the shrimp, I'm going to give it a few days and see what happens before I try anything else. Like, she did it very, very, I know I keep using the word methodical, but I really like that. And that's one thing to consider. If you are doing triple B and E, and you're doing it specifically because you want to see if there's any underlying issues, take that methodical approach when you're done with your time frame. Otherwise, what I see other people do is they finish their challenge, right? And this is why we don't like challenges here, because what is a challenge? It's a short term. I don't want short-term results. I want long-term results. So what that means is sometimes at the end of that, you're like, oh, good, I've done that. Now I'm going to go off plan over here. I'm going to go and eat all this other stuff. And then, within a month, they're like, oh, yeah, I sure felt good on triple B and E, but, I had to go out with my friends and we decided to have this or that, and I did this and that. It's like, pick something, honestly, in the keto sphere, pick something that you can do long term, because even if your results that you're looking for, whether it's health or weight, take longer, in the long-term look, you're going to end up ahead than doing these little challenges here and there. Yeah, maybe that challenge perhaps gets you a weight loss of 10 pounds or whatever it is. But then when you go off of that challenge, how much did you gain back? You have to keep that in mind. So sometimes when you see people are like, oh my gosh, triple B and E is the greatest thing because look at how much I lost. Well, check on them 2-3 months after they stopped the challenge. Where are they? I think we always have good intentions when we do things, and you have to evaluate yourself. And again, a challenge is a short-term solution that might not gain you long-term results. And I'm here for the long term. I don't know about y'all, but I don't expect to, I'm just going to drop all this weight. My health's going to be fixed overnight. No, I know it's going to take time. It took me a long enough time to get this sick, so it's going to take a lot longer to heal myself and eventually drop the weight, because that's the last thing your body cares about is dropping weight. What it cares, number one, is rebuilding your health. And once it's got to the healthy part, then it will start doing the weight dropping. So, and I would say in the meantime, when it comes to that, if you're in a position where you maybe aren't at the physical desirement that you want, love who you are. Like, seriously, y'all. I feel so bad when I see people talk so negative about themselves. Like, really, take a look every single day. Take a look in a full-length mirror. Appreciate who you are right now. Don't worry about what you want, right? Love who you are now. Look at your face, hey, look, I've got this. I love this. This is me. Do the same thing. You don't like your arms? They're your arms. Show them love. Like, look at them and say, you know what? It's a little jiggly, but you know what? That's me. And I love all of me. And all of me is a great person. Like, really think that, y'all. Do that every day. Really start loving who you are. And if you really start appreciating your whole self, your confidence, everything will just glow And guess what? You're beautiful already. And people will see that and they'll love you for who you are. So I want that to be my challenge to you for this next, at least a week, y'all. Here's the challenge. Every day, look at yourself. Look at something maybe you don't traditionally like about yourself and start showing that you do love and accept that part of yourself. And just continue to do that. And even if that means like, I have a big old belly, rubbing my belly and saying, you know what, this belly, it protects me. It gives me, warmth. It feels good. And just enjoy those parts of you that maybe you're not fully accepting. Start accepting them, because life's too short to be unhappy or wishful or desiring other things. Live in the now and enjoy who you are now. Who's ready for dinner? Who's ready to eat? Who wants to eat? Does anybody else get this excited about dinner? Look at them. Like, I just close my laptop and they're like, oh, that means dinner. Okay, you guys, come on, let's go eat. Come on, let's go. Usually they want to race ahead. Oh, there he goes. Are you gonna go? This is what happens every day at 4:30. As soon as I close the laptop, they just start going crazy. Look, he's like, I know my food's in the refrigerator. Get it out of the refrigerator, right? And then Delilah, where are you at? There you are. Oh, and then she starts pawing at me. She's like, come on, Mom. You're making me wait long enough. So I'm going to go get the food and get them fed. Just thought I'd show you a little glimpse of dinner time with the dogs. Tuesday night dinner, y'all. Guess what we're having? It's that beef stew again. And I've got 3 tablespoons of butter added to it. And then here's my Redmond's smoked salt. Comment below if you've tried the smoked salt and which one is your favorite. So I'm going to drizzle some of that. And then I've got a whole jalapeno here. One has cream cheese and one has goat cheese, because he wanted one of each so he could figure out if he could tell the difference between the cream and the goat. So we'll see if he can. And then I've also got this hot sauce. Just been loving it this week. I'll probably drizzle some of that in here and on the peppers. And then got my water to drink. And that will do it for another week. Thank y'all so much for watching this week's. I know I went on a few little tangents. Well, there's Delilah's on the couch, so you know what that means. That means down here, Sam's going to be like, I can't sit on the couch. Well, if you liked the Warden Report this week, definitely give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here, and I'll continue to hopefully answer any and all of your questions about high fat. And if you have any questions, definitely comment. Let me know what questions you have. I'm more than open to respond to those. And make sure you stay tuned to see all of our wonderful channel members. Thank y'all again for your continued support. We so appreciate it. And let's see, the word for this week is rose. All right, thanks y'all. Bye.